Capital is a production machine. If you understand it, figure out how to protect it, how to preserve it, how to store it inside a structure that you own and control, it is going to become highly advantageous to you, to your loved ones, and to your future generations or bloodline, because it will reproduce as long as you can maintain ownership of it. Welcome. My name is Wayne Dirksen, one of the advisors here with 48 Financial, and it's my pleasure to continue a conversation about the fundamentals of money from about a 30,000-foot overview. And my question is, do people understand how money flows and how it works? And if we did, we would probably understand how vitally important it is for infinite banking to be part of your financial systems, structures, and processes. And so I want to spend just a few moments talking about that in this brief presentation. And so previously we talked about the fact that money is flowing. Money is constantly in motion. It never sits still. Whether we see it or don't see it, understand it or don't understand it, believe it or don't believe it, money is always in motion. And in fact, inside the banking structure of this great country, money is moving at a pace that is almost incomprehensible. And we should be able to track that flow and understand what's happening with it, understand who's earning it and who's not earning it. Because for many people, their reality is that money is flowing away from them and not towards them. And it's flowing away from them because that's how the system is designed. And until you actually understand that, track the flow, understand the design, and then say, that's not going to work for me. I'm going to cut into this line. I'm going to splice into this plumbing system, and I'm going to redirect the flow back to a structure that I own and control. That becomes very, very important. The second fundamental piece I want us to talk about is that cash and capital are not synonymous. We tend to use them interchangeably all the time. And in fact, I often ask clients, do you have a definition of capital? And some will take a stab at it, but most don't really have a definition that is workable. And so what they end up doing is just using cash and capital interchangeably. And one of the challenges of life is that whatever your perspective is, you will tend to behave consistently in alignment with that perspective. And when that perspective is inaccurate or flawed, you will tend to act in alignment with it, even though it's not in your best interest. And so coming up with a definition of capital becomes vitally important when you're trying to accumulate or build wealth. And so the definition that I like mostly comes from a gentleman by the name of Ryan Griggs. And he said this: capital has an acquisitive component to it. Capital has the ability to reproduce for you, provided that you don't give it away or part ownership with it. Capital has the ability to reproduce with every beat of your heart every single day of your life, provided you can continue to preserve it and protect it and store it inside a structure that you own and control, so that you actually get the benefits and the advantages of capital. And so I have this really simple concept I like to share with people that sort of demonstrates this. So if you had a goose that laid a golden egg, and every day you could run down to the barn and collect that egg and sell it for $1,000 and tuck that $1,000 in your jeans, you'd protect that goose with your life. You would have no predators, no environmental conditions ever penetrating that goose house and getting access to your goose, because you understand that that goose is your production machine. That goose will do its job provided you look after its health and provide for its care. And that's exactly how I see capital. Capital is a production machine. If you understand it, figure out how to protect it, how to preserve it, how to store it inside a structure that you own and control, it is going to become highly advantageous to you, to your loved ones, and to your future generations or bloodline, because it will reproduce as long as you can maintain ownership of it. So I think that's a really, really important fundamental. I'm not going to belabor that much further, other than to say this: if you've never sat down and really pondered capital, come up with a definition, and then started to understand the power of what your capital can actually do for you while you maintain, preserve, protect, control it, then I would encourage you to take some time to do that, because it is vitally important to wealth creation, understanding that we must never give our capital away. When we buy a cup of coffee, we've just transferred money away. Was that cash? Was that capital? We have to live. There has to be some expenditures. There are things that have to happen. But our capital is the money that is actually going to create our wealth. And wealth is quite easily attained when you start to understand how things flow, how they work, the design of things, and understand that you must at all costs preserve and protect and control your capital. So hopefully you will take some time to ponder this. We would love to be helpful with you in the process. So get a hold of one of us at 48 Financial or a practitioner of the infinite banking system that can actually help you in very profound ways. So thank you for taking the time today to be here. May your journey towards wealth creation and understanding grow in significance as you take the time to invest in your own journey.